folks, welcome back to Talon Bezuidenhout. This is Chris once again. Rainbow Nazi indeed. Really, the Rainbow Nation. Well, we'll see how the Rainbow Nation is going, folks. Welcome back once again to Chris Wyatt Africa here, coming to you live from central Pennsylvania on a horrific day in Cape Town, the mother city in South Africa. Conflagration out of control, fire still developing. Have additional footage to show you coming from people in Cape Town reporting events taking place there in this horrific fire. We now have reports, confirmed reports of additional fires being started by arsonists, either taking advantage or who knows, but police have arrested one and we're chasing additional ones within the last hour in Cape Town. This is a horrific situation. Unbelievable. Fortunately, thus far, no fatalities. Waiting to hear more information, ladies and gentlemen. The music we're just listening, if you're not familiar, that's Giselle. She's from Grootfontein in Namibia, and she lives in South Africa now. And she is a Afrikaans and country music performer. Giselle's fantastic. She's kind of the star of our program here with Ons Mense, which is sort of an informal theme song for this channel. And there you have South Africa. Yes, my mooiste land. Yep. Well, it's a beautiful place. Anyway, so that's kind of a theme song, sort of an unofficial anthem for South Africa, folks. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. If you're just coming into the channel, if you're here for the first time ever, hey, take a second and do what so few people have done lately, but so many did for a short period of time to make this channel fly. And that's become a subscriber. It costs absolutely nothing, folks. Just smash that subscription button right down there below the screen. It's right there. All you have to do is push it and you become a subscriber. It costs absolutely nothing. Big dinner. No, we don't know that the conflagration started as a result of arson. The South African Park Services reported that it was a consequence of vagrants who, didn't attend a fire or let it get out of control. But subsequently, there have been arsonists who've been starting opportunistic fires, and the police have been chasing them. At least one has been arrested. Yep, so there you have it, folks. Welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. I have several more minutes of footage to show you as day turned to evening. You can see the skies being overcast from the smoke. Residential areas on fire in Cape Town itself, not just UCT and the Rhodes Memorial Restaurant, but actually parts of town where residents live. Paulie, who's a firefighter, has reached out to us. His wife has been evacuated now, or was being evacuated from the residential neighborhood that she lives in Cape Town. Unbelievable. What did you miss? Well, Brett, you missed a number of things. By the way, Brett, thank you for the super chats earlier. Also, my apologies to a couple of folks. All right, Cameron, is your mom here? Cameron Heslop, is your mom here? Because she was here earlier. Please let me know if your mom is here. I want to send out a special greeting and a well wishes to is it Marlene or Marlena Heslop? Thank you so much for joining us. I apologize for missing that, not mentioning it earlier in the stream. That was not intentional. Just a lot happening in that stream. I didn't get to it. So greetings to Cameron's mom. I hope she's here. It's not too late for her to be enjoying this. And I'll say it up front in case she's tired and wants to hit the rack. I'm just saying. But anyway, folks, on Super Chats, Dietrich Buscha, I missed 140 rand Super Chat while I was having conversation with Paulie. So ich bedanke mich, Dietrich, wie normal. Das war aber sehr nett von dir. Und ich freue mich auf das Super Chat. Thank you so much for that. Oh, she's having a bath. Well, Cameron, let me know when she comes back so I can greet her. Please let me know. And don't anybody let me miss that when Cameron's mom comes back in the chat. Make sure you keep mentioning it so I can send her warm greetings. Anyway, so sorry about that. Yeah, Jonathan says red berets. Who knows? It's turned to evening in the mother city. I was wearing my home jersey earlier for the Stormers, and now in a spirit of solidarity with the mother city, I'm wearing my road jersey from last season. There you go. Stormers road jersey. Day to night. Switch from blue to black, and there you go. All right, cool, Cameron, thanks. No, my apologies for not greeting her earlier. And is it Marlene or Marlena? I assume it's Marlena because it's phonetically pronounced, but if I got it wrong, just let me know. Anyway, so got some more footage coming up. Before I show you that footage, folks, let me show you something else that was sent to me by someone. And this looks very familiar. This looks like the R21 on the way from OR Tambo going up to Pretoria. That's what it looks like to me. It's hard to see the sign here. Watch what happens as someone's just on a leisurely drive. This is just a couple of days ago. I don't know what happened to the person driving the vehicle or if they had passengers. All I can show you is the video and just show you what Beckett Chile's gangster's paradise is like and what people do in broad daylight in South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Beketchile's Gangster's Paradise of South Africa. Broad daylight in what appears to be Gauteng on the R21 from OR Tambo heading towards Pretoria. Can't ascertain that, but that view looks very familiar to me. I couldn't read that sign up there. This is broad daylight on a highway in South Africa. What apparently happened is those gangsters, the Tutsi, pulled up alongside and just started shooting into the vehicle. I don't know if their intent was to rob the person or murder the person. It clearly wasn't to steal the vehicle. They shot multiple times with automatic weapons, stopped in the middle of the highway, got out, ran back, and then as you can see, the guy either apparently must have survived. I don't know if there's any other passengers, survived long enough to escape, and they're pointing out to chase after and shoot and murder that person. This is South Africa today. Thank you, African National Congress, for your liberation struggle, you jackass flying monkeys. What kind of world is this? Now, all the little jackasses in the media here, why aren't you showing this footage of what happens on a daily basis in South Africa? By the way, this happens to white and black South Africans and coloreds. I don't know, Dean or Dion. Thank you so much. For those who don't know, I'm a retired U.S. Army colonel, recently retired, before the beard, not that long ago. And a salute is a sign of respect. It's a medieval tradition from knights who would approach for a parley to discuss terms. You would raise your hand up to show that you had no weapon. And over time, it became a salute, a sign of respect to a senior, a subordinate to a senior. As a colonel, mostly people salute me. Only I salute generals. That's it. So as a sign of respect, when someone becomes a paying member of Chris Wyatt Africa, I offer a hand salute. So there you go. That was a hand salute for you. This is South Africa. Is this what people fought for? Is this what the Black Sash Movement was all about? Is this what the Pan-African Congress was all about? Is this why the Freedom Charter was written? Is this why the ANC formed as the Native Natal Congress in 1912? Is this what the liberation struggle was all about? So these slime balls in broad daylight, brazen, no fear whatsoever of prosecution or even being hindered by anybody can do this on a highway in South Africa. Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. And you wonder why all the human capital is leaving South Africa and going to the United Kingdom, New Zealand, Australia, the United States. You all look no further, France as well, than this idiocy. Absolute idiocy. And the government seeks to disarm South Africans. What are you supposed to do in this case? There's no one there to protect you. Just die? Is that what the plan is? Crazy. They got cash from an ATM. I hadn't heard that, Jax. Hadn't heard that. I don't use ATMs. Ever. Ever. And not because I'm worried about being robbed. I just don't use them. It's a bad habit to be in. So let me check out really quick and catch up with the chat here. Then I'm going to show the next video with the update of more footage from Cape Town. Some of this comes courtesy of Paulie, who gave us the stuff. Our firefighter friend there came from Cape Town from his spouse, and including the narration, a couple audio clips in here as I put still images up. Also, I got some of this from someone else I know from South Africa got it from Cape Town. So we're going to show you this about 6 minutes of footage coming up in just a moment. But let me just catch up with all the chat here very quick. Beaver's back. Bebop says, watch your earlier stream. Was great. What is a flying monkey jackass, though? Well, the flying monkeys are from Wizard of Oz. The Wicked Witch of the West had those flying monkeys around that were her minions that did her bidding. And I consider flying monkeys to be jackasses. So that's what a flying monkey jackass is. Cameron says, the thing I ask you for a while now, if I can be a guest in your program. We can think about it, Cameron. Send me an email and we can discuss it and we can talk about it. William says, good compiled footage of the events as well. Thank you very much. I tried to put them in a sequence that made sense, in a time sequence where it was appropriate, and almost all are sequential in time to show as things progress, and also so that it makes some sense. It is Marlene, English, not Marlena. Okay, thank you very much, Cameron. Greetings to your mom, Marlene Heslop. My pleasure to say greetings to her. And thank you for watching the channel. I appreciate the support. By the way, folks, we had over 4,000 people watch that stream earlier, and we had a peak of about 500 viewers, so thank you all for that. It's a shame that it takes a tragedy to get an audience of that size, which is back to my normal size audience, what I used to get, and sometimes far more than that. But one of my videos now has over 14,000 views in just 2 hours. That's kind of the pace I used to be at on this channel. None of the footage from the prepared footage is monetized, so if you see any ads in that, please let me know, because I've turned the ads off. You shouldn't see them. I don't take advantage of unfortunate events, just like Plasmod. I do not monetize any Plasmod videos. Switch to orange for flames, okay? Yeah, orange for flames, gotcha. Good Lord, this is horrific. Yes, it is, William, and it's broad daylight. Broad daylight, brazen. No highway patrol, nope. Bloody ridiculous. Did this driver, so I have no idea, General Inflatables. I have no idea. And I think he wasn't alone. I think there was someone in the vehicle. And I have no idea. No idea, Brew. I just got this information forwarded to me from somebody that works in security services in South Africa, or with security services. They forwarded this to me, so I don't know the efficacy of it. All I can tell you is I believe I recognize that stretch of road. I've driven on it hundreds of times. F sakes, I've driven past that. Yeah, okay, Bradley, then I'm talking about the right place, right? It's on the way to Pretoria. That's heading north, is it not? Yeah, when did this happen? On the 16th, 2 days ago, Bebop Williams. 2 days ago. Yeah, disgraceful, shocking, yes. And people need to know about it. Who has seen this? 2 days ago. This should be national news. This should be on SABC. It should be an ENCA. It won't be. This is what they should show you. Jonathan says, hired Boa Legion. Is Boa Legion here? I didn't see anybody from Boa Legion. There's Zed. Okay, General. Sorry, a whole bunch of things skipped here. Let me catch it. We're going to get to the video here in just a moment, folks. Hang tight. Reminds me of the clip of Burning Fire Breaks the film Faith Like Potatoes. 2 days ago. Yeah, it was the 16th. They seemed to specifically go for that bag. I wonder what was in the. I'm sure they knew the bag was in the car. Bullets are expensive. Yeah, no, Larsalis. I think Jax pointed out that they must have taken money out of an ATM. I've read on a group on Facebook the driver had a very large amount of cash with him, and there was probability that this was a planned inside job just after the withdrawal at the bank. Could be. What is happening on the highway, and how bad is it getting? Well, whether it's planned or this whole thing was staged really doesn't matter. People's lives are put in jeopardy. You're going 120 kilometers an hour, and a vehicle just stops. 2 lanes of traffic stop. Fortunately, there wasn't heavy traffic density at that time. People were able to go around it because that stretch of road has multiple lanes, 4 lanes, plus the one on the outside there. I mean, you could have jumped the curb. Yeah, I don't care whether it was staged or it's an inside job. It's incredibly dangerous. Shooting firearms like that. Hey, there's Boa Legion Media. Good to see you again, Boa Legion Media. We haven't chatted in a long time. I haven't been able to see any of your feeds in a while, so I hope you're well. Z3SPV, good to see you again as well. Emil Thert, Levin Jans van Rensborg. What else we got here? Domina Morghol says, Salut, General. No, I'm just a colonel, unless you're talking about Boa Legion. I don't think that's the general. But thank you. But just a colonel. I'm humble. Linky Olvaga says, any news on Rutshore Hospital? No, I have not heard anything on that. Let's see what else. Brett says, my friend Hannah Kim wants to come on your show and discuss her time in Joburg, maybe in South Africa. Yeah, send me an email, Brett. I think we've talked about that previously. I'm getting back in the swing of interviewing people, but the problem I have right now is I'm committed. I'm working all day long this coming week, and then I leave on Sunday to go to North Carolina to work next week as well. So interviews are difficult for me now. Also, it looks like I may be able to travel in May, depending on what the restrictions are, because my teaching gig is now in June, not in May. So waiting to sort that out. Hopefully we'll get some clarity, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that. Yep. Let's see what else. General Flavels, 5.5 years ago when my youngest was 6 months, worst feeling ever. I missed something. Olga Faria is back again. Corlia, where have you been? Good to see you again, Corlia. Wow, a long time and no see. All right, what else we got here? Lars Salas, the ANC must have directed their media pets to be silent on CI cash and transit robberies. They don't want attention on their personal enterprises. Ooh, shots fired. Enslin, Johan, and Magdal. Love your shirt. Well, thank you very much. It's a Stormers road jersey. I had a blue Stormers home jersey on. I think this might from the previous season, but the one I had on today was from this season. It just happened. All right, folks, here we go. 6 minutes of additional footage of the mess going on in Cape Town. You ready for this? This is starting with daylight. This is video footage as well as still footage and audio clips added in from voice notes that were sent about events unfolding in Cape Town. Many of you watching the stream right now are in Cape Town. I realize that. So here we go. That's not it. Here we go. This is Cape Town starting this afternoon, some of it in the morning through the afternoon. But this is footage I have not shown previously. I keep getting additional footage people are sending to me. So here you go, folks.
Then, this is new res. We're taking everyone out because there's a fire starting. There's fire already inside. To the other side, we open an exit door at the back for the students. We're trying to take them out, all of them out. This is so strange. Right now, we just taking them out, guys, out.
Guys, it is literally burning on main road. Like literally right in front of us.
That's what I'm saying. Like make fucking
Alma Road.
Like a run, bro. Like a run.
Main road is literally a fucking movie. There's students everywhere because they've been evacuated from reses. And yeah, people are just literally standing around on main road. Okay, how many students are literally just walking the streets because UCT told them to evacuate? But where are they gonna go? That's the question.
Evacuate the area, please. Evacuate.
Hi guys, let me quickly explain what's going on. I'm here in Highland Close. So you might have heard the sirens and stuff. So we just saw 3 guys running on the mountain, many of us here in Highland Close, lighting fires. So it's arsonists trying to be funny or whatever the hell they're trying to do. And so that's the alarms and sounds. Actually, the cops and and so on coming. We have called the fire brigade. They're on site. We can see them. They're trying also to stop the guys from doing more, and obviously trying to catch them. So just to explain what's going on, if you're hearing a lot of noise, the fires are quite close, but the fire brigade is there. There were 3 fires that they lit, but it seems like they're getting there. Okay, bye. In fact, they've just caught one of the guys. But yes, I mean, the fire is burning quite intensely. Luckily, there's no wind.
Second fire was started. We could see somebody trying to ignite it. After that first one on the left was started, you can see there's people with torches now looking for the arsonist. It was probably about 10 minutes ago that this middle one was started, and that one started probably about 25 minutes ago, and you can see the services are now on the scene, and hopefully they catch the little bug. And of course that's the one that's still burning, and that's the one that came over the mountain from much early on. That's the heroes of the day. I'm sure exhausted. That's my commentary.
Lots of questions, comments came in during that video footage I've just showed you that I've compiled. Let me try to address them as quickly as possible. Number one, Beth mentioned something about 4 students being killed during the Vietnam War on campus. That was at Kent State. And additionally, Dean was paralyzed. I knew him. He moved to Athens, Ohio, and was there when I was at Ohio University, so I frequently saw him. He was paralyzed from the waist down when he was shot that day. But that is Kent State. They were shot by an out-of-control Ohio National Guard unit with poor discipline. Now, that's because of massive demonstrations. It could easily have happened at several other Ohio campuses. Ohio University actually had far worse demonstrations than Kent State did. Fortunately, the Guard was never called out against the students at Ohio State, or at Ohio University. It was only done at Kent State, and that's where that happened. The burning of the ROTC building happened at Dartmouth in New England, and it happened a couple other places where ROTC buildings were broken into and ransacked. And yes, to answer the question, Courtney, I think you raised the issue. We did have domestic terrorists in the United States, rampant in the 1960s, and their offspring, the progeny of those slimeball, treasonous, arsonist, and domestic terrorists reign rampant today in the United States in cities like Minneapolis, Portland, Seattle, Washington, Philadelphia, Atlanta, New York City, burning, looting, and murdering. They've come up with their own little name, BLM, burn, loot, and murder. And that's what they are, domestic terrorists, insurrectionists. And they should be squashed like bugs and arrested for their crimes. Absolutely right. Thank you for bringing the topic up, Courtney, although that wasn't your intent. Give me an opportunity to talk about them. Yes, there was an ROTC building burned down by criminal domestic terrorist. Exactly right. Now, as far as the fire, the South African National Park Service is saying that they have investigated as the day went on, and they believe that the source of fire, they claim the source of fire was a fire that vagrants set. So homeless people were setting fire, ostensibly to cook or to stay warm. Who knows which? It's a warm day, so it's probably to cook. Assuming that to be the truth, which I'll accept for now, we now have multiple cases of scumbag, dirtbag, slimeball, arsonists running around starting fires opportunistically. Police are out looking for people. They'd already arrested one, as you heard from that voice note taking place there. It's happening multiple locations across Cape Town. Arsonists are out now. And also for people who have actually evacuated, don't expect to find much in your homes when you return because criminals are loose on the streets. So there you have it. That's true. The fire is not under control. It is not under control. Paulie, was your wife evacuated? Last I heard, she was going to be evacuated. It was that close to your home. So let me catch up here. Okay, no fatalities so far, Carla. That's correct. Only one firefighter who was burned and injured, but he appeared to be not in serious condition. So that's good news. And Lars Salves is correct. Whatever the fire didn't ruin, although I suspect it ruined everything, was ruined by water damage in the library. Yeah, arsonists do need to be PK'd, Hendo. There you go. Cappy 211 says, so gross. It is, yeah, it's very disgusting. It's shameful conduct. Icicle Fledgling says, the guys lighting the fires is what started it. No, according to the Park Service, it is actually a vagrants that did it, but we'll have to hold back and see and just wait. So let's not jump to conclusions, but we do know for a fact that arsonists have been caught in the act starting fires. Yep, it is not under control, Johann Badenhorst. And what else did I miss here? Well, folks, this if it was arson, this is not an assertion that it was. What I can say is the people lighting them now are definitely arsonists. Those people, bear in mind that the Economic Freedom Fighters, a domestic terrorist organization masquerading as a political party, based on their statements, not on my assertions, but on their own. If you remember at Senecal in the Free State on the 16th of October, they exhorted their fighters. They made sure they said it in English so we'd understand it, not in Zulu or Xhosa, but they exhorted their fighters to burn the Boer out, burn them down. Within 72 hours, massive fires were lit all over the Free State. The government covered up and lied about it, claimed that these were service delivery protests. Yes, because people that want to make a statement about service delivery go out into the middle of the countryside, get on a road, light fires at 4 o'clock in the morning during a curfew where it's a crime to be out, according to the ANC's National Coronavirus Command Council. Yeah, that story is about as believable as icicles in Brazil. Yep. Anyway, so that was the fairy tale that the government tried to tell people, is that it was a service delivery protest. And yes, 16 people were arrested, but we don't know whatever came of that. One person was horribly burned, nearly died. It was reported that he died. One farmer, I understand he survived, but millions of dollars, not rands, millions of dollars of damage was done. Farms destroyed, homes destroyed, farm workers' homes destroyed, crops destroyed, tens of thousands of animals, livestock, and wildlife murdered, burned on the Veld because of arsonists. Purely arson, not a service delivery protest that got out of hand, intentional arson. So this is not exactly a new tactic. Not exactly a new tactic. So hectic, especially if it's arson. Hope they find all and get proper jail time. It won't matter. It won't matter. They've harmed people irreparably. They've damaged South Africa's patrimony. They have destroyed its culture and tradition. And for that, what is the punishment? 3 years in jail? Not going to do anything. Bertie Wilkinson says they seem to want to destroy Cape Town because it was created by white colonists. No, Bertie. We don't know that anyone, unless you're talking about the arsonists. Let's talk about the people we know are arsonists. We don't know what started the fire. But people like that, yes, of course they want to destroy Cape Town. Why? Because the Cape wants to secede. That's why. Wants to secede. That's what it's all about. And I don't know why they'd be upset, because there were no black Africans in Cape Town when the whites arrived, just a Khoisan son. So it wasn't like it belonged to them. Anyway. Looks like a backburn being started to stop the spread, not necessarily arsonist. That's possible, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actual cases of arsonists being arrested, being chased by the police for lighting fires. They were observed lighting fires, starting fires, not a backbreak, not firefighters. These are arsonists. Anyway, again, let's not conflate the arsonists who've been observed this evening trying to start fires with whatever the proximate cause of the fire was that started this morning. That is, according to the Park Service, the result of a vagrant's fire. Do I think the fire will calm down before tomorrow? I don't know, JG. The real problem with that is what happens with the winds tonight and how much success the fire department can have. I almost thought that Paulie was going to be kept down there, but as he said, he does structural fires, like your home fires or office buildings. He's not a wildfire expert, so they're going to get the right people in there. So ANC and AFF, what does it, Greg, say? Is why did this get ahead of me here? Sorry, guys. Wow, it really jumped on me here. I don't even know where I'm at now. I'm just going to miss a comment here. Oh, there it is. Okay. General Inflatables, my uncle was stationed at Mamazatoi Fireman Station for 41 years. Wow. Yeah, they do a lot of training. That's what you do all the time. It's like a soldier. Soldiers train all the time. You rehearse, you retrain, you rehearse, you retrain. That's what you do. That's what it's all about. You prep. 207 people watching, 82 likes. Let's smash that like button, folks. Make it happen. Make it happen. Anyway, why would any sane person light more fires when firefighters liaison? Because they want to burn people out. They're murderers or, aspiring murderers. That's what it's all about. Yeah, that's right. Plus, there's also people that just have mental issues that are into fire. These people that really are fascinated by fire. So that could be the case too. Yep. What says, yeah, can't you shoot them? I mean, legally, it seems an arsonist is the category of mass murder. going to snow. I got my SASA SRD money. Cameron got his SASA money. Wow, where'd that come from? Terrorists did the same in Israel in the windy season, would put fire balloons in the air and light nearby crops. Yep. Jake Butrick says burning season in South Africa. Didn't evacuate. 2 trucks unseen managed to control the fire behind the house opposite. However, still burning high up in Devil's Peak. Thank you for that, Paulie. Thank you for that update. Okay, yeah, so she didn't evacuate. Well, that's good. That means she's safe. Doesn't have to worry about the home being robbed because she's out of it or it being burned down. That's good news. 2 firefighters with burns in the hospital now. Okay, well, the one was being treated on the scene during the daytime. At night, you would expect to find more injuries because it's more difficult to fight a fire in the dark. Ruth says, Brett, oh, you're talking, okay, and sorry. Larsalis cycles past the area where the fire started when he visits a friend. The area usually has baggy camps, okay? Weird how the historical sites are burnt. Terrible, yeah. Yep. It's true, Chris, the fire isn't under control. I'm very, very stressed. It's very close to Justin, but they haven't been evacuated yet. It's just right there by Paulie's wife. Yeah, well, hopefully. Brett, do you know about necklacing? That? Yes, of course, Brett. I know about necklacing. I knew about it when it happened. Many of us lived through that time. Yes, I remember it very well. And it's something you contribute to the African National Congress, who went after their opponents in the Inkatha Freedom Party that way, and their own members. Lars Sala says there were calls for arson. Now there is arson. We've seen that before. Yes, the Free State. I mentioned that, among other places. They burnt our land. They burnt our heritage. They will never burn our solace. Okay, says the brew. Do most Cape Townians want succession? It's unknown, Brett. No one has done a proper poll. No one knows. What polls are done, what informal things are done, seem to indicate interest in it. And if we are to assume that coloreds and whites want nothing to do with the ANC, which is a big assumption, it involves a lot of stereotyping, but if we were to assume that, that is the overwhelming majority of the population. That's 2/3 of the population in the Western Cape. And so one could extrapolate from that there is widespread interest, but we don't know that for a fact. The three main groups, Cape Exit, and the 2 other groups that are out there, haven't really made the case, as far as I'm concerned, that there's widespread interest in this. One of the groups been around for 8 years and doesn't have the requisite signatures. Another group has been working some time, and I'm not speaking ill of them, just speaking objectively. Those are groups led by Hein Marks and Phil Craig and others. Yep, so there you go. What did Jack say? Wow, this thing keeps jumping on me. It must be way behind in the chat. Won't be surprised they target Kuberg. Well, that would be a real mess. That'd be a disaster to target Kuberg. It is a nuclear facility, after all. Where the fire started, even if it was intentional, they could not have known that the fire would reach the university. They had to cross 2 hills first. Exactly, Lars Salas. That's also consideration to keep in mind here. Hope they don't target Orania. That's a city that seems to be doing rather well. Says Courtney, in an effort to troll and to be provocative. Orania is thousands of kilometers away. It's a remote rural village that's actually a corporation. So, you're coming to the wrong place to troll nonsense you don't know about, Courtney. Orania is nothing to do with Cape Town. It's not even remotely near it. Some of the homeless in Cape Town live on the mountain or next to it. Bag has become a local euphemism for a homeless person. Yes, indeed. Don't give them any ideas, Courtney, says Duvall. Lamis Ahmad says, I'm very sad about the university library. It's a very bad loss. There were a lot of irreplaceable historical documents in the library. These documents have proof about all aspects of South African history. Indeed, Lamis, that's one of the points I said in my video. I did the video that was prepared with commentary. One of the tragedies here is the loss of South Africa's patrimony, of its history, of its culture. What's happened here is horrific. I don't know that anyone evacuated. This fire started during daylight hours, and they had hours before it reached the library. I would hope that someone was able to get some of these documents out of there in some fashion. It's a very frightening thought to think that all that stuff is lost. And if it is lost, hopefully everything was photographed and images of it taken that's stored somewhere on microfilm or on actual digital form somewhere in multiple locations. But still, even if you have that, the loss of the actual document is horrific. Yep. Greg says the ANC and its little, bastard offspring, the EFF, are making it a point to make Cape Town ungovernable. Yeah, perhaps. I don't know that has anything to do with this fire, but certainly it might have something to do with the arsonists. We don't know. It might just be people, pyromaniacs. We have people like Amanda DeVette says, we trust Cape Town can band together as a community in the aftermath. Yes, Amanda, but it appears irreparable things may have been lost, and that's unfortunate. Hopefully no loss of life. We're still waiting to see that. Sorry, I see Borlig is here. I thought this was a Borligan live stream. That was crazy. Sorry. Why would you think this is a Borligan live stream? You're being smart or sarcastic. Clearly labeled. It's clearly on my channel. Anyway. Macho Man says in Botswana they use bulldozers to clear paths and essentially partition the bush. Your take, if that could work here. Well, that's a really tough thing. You can see that this fire jumped across a highway that's a few hundred feet wide. So I'm not so sure that's going to work given the winds and the physical aspects of the terrain at Table Mountain and Signal Hill and all of that stuff around there. I'm not sure that that sort of thing works. In a flat environment in the Kalahari where there's virtually no elevation change, you can get away with that if you don't have high winds. You're talking about a fire break. We do that in America. We actually start fires to stop fires by pushing a fire towards another one so they burn each other out and take all the oxygen. Anyway, but air support is invaluable. And those are real heroes today. The aviators who flew the water in to put those fires out, real heroes, put their lives at risk. Lost the library is a loss to all South Africans, every color and ethnicity. Indeed it is, Lamiz Ahmad. And may I ask, are you, I'm guessing from your name, you don't have to answer Ahmad. There's no obligation to do that. And I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm guessing you're from Cape Town. Based on your name, I'm guessing perhaps you're Muslim and perhaps Cape Colored or Cape Malay. If you don't mind sharing, always nice to know. But Lamiz Ahmad is an unusual name. Ahmad, not so much, but Lamiz is not one you see very often. So anyway, thank you for joining the conversation. Aiden David says, can you tell me more about people leaving SA at a staggering rate? Well, it's difficult to state because no one has clear figures on it. We do know the numbers of people residing in the UK are approaching 500,000 South African citizens, but a lot of people assume that's all whites. It's not. It's South Africans, all ethnicities, but plenty of whites. There are, in Perth, 16 to 20,000 Afrikaans-speaking white South Africans alone in Perth, Australia. Total number is a few 100,000 probably in Australia. And in New Zealand, 100,000 or more most likely. These are estimates. The data is unreliable because the way the countries count the data and no one has the real figures. But somewhere between 3 and 5 million South Africans are currently living abroad, most not out of choice. Especially if you're white and you've been denied economic opportunity, you've probably fled the country because of the racism directed against you. Your only opportunity is to try to find a job abroad. We had a guest on the audio podcast last night who came on, and she had to leave South Africa because she kept getting retrenched. Perfectly qualified, distinctions and high marks at university. She was being retrenched and other people being hired who didn't have the qualifications based solely on the fact that she was female and white, and so she was sent packing down the road. So she had to leave the country and go work abroad. There's something wrong with that. People fought against apartheid so that sort of nonsense wouldn't exist, but it does. They just flipped the script. And the people being discriminated against are a different group of people. That's all. Same stuff. Different party, same outcome. Let's see what else. It's just sad the fire departments sometimes don't maintain vehicles. Kronstadt is struggling. Yeah, that does happen a lot. All over Africa, not just in South Africa. Icicle Fledgling says, my friend is a pilot of the air tractor, the AT-802 firefighting aircraft in Cape Town. Oh, well, we were asking about that earlier. We didn't know if they had any because the MAF system is something we use with the C-130 military aircraft in the National Guard here in the States. And the Canadians have lots of aircraft for firefighting because they have lots of fires to deal with every year. Duval, Courtney McBride is being intentionally provocative. Just ignore that. Why are you wearing your Navy uniform on a Sunday, Courtney? Do you go to church in it? Do you go to a wedding? Amanda DeVette, a lot of the alien vegetation and trees have been removed from the years. It's a strange thing, but the Fynbos needs fire every few years. Yeah, we talked about that earlier, Amanda. The Fynbos does need fire, just like the sequoias and the redwoods in California need fire in order to replenish the soil, to clear the brush away so that the fledgling saplings can grow and get sunlight because the canopy is so heavy, so all the branches get burned up to a certain height when these conflagrations happen. The cones that have the seeds in them won't open unless they're exposed to intense fire. Intense fire forces them to pop open like a popcorn. You take maize, you get popcorn, same sort of concept with a pine cone, these big pine cones from sequoias and from redwoods. Pops them open, the seeds come out. the nitrogen-rich soil, which was just replenished from the fire that burned all the brush and cleared away the brush so the sun could reach the saplings and then they can take root. Without that, you have an unhealthy forest, which is what we had for decades, courtesy of libtards in California and out west, who ruined the natural ecosphere by interjecting their arrogant leftist mindset into nature. Well, we know better. We're human beings. We'll manage it this way. Ooh, fire is evil. No, fire is not. Fire replenishes. That's right. So, fortunately, those morons aren't running the show anymore. Now we have actual real scientists and real agronomists who are out there running the show. Thank goodness for that. Fortunately, we saved the redwoods and the sequoias before they destroyed them with their care. Resens Parker says the fire is not under control in Cape Town. I never said it was, Resens. I said it's not under control. Who said it's under control? 80,000 South Africans in the UAE. There you go, Neil. 80,000 in the UAE alone. That's a shockingly high number. 400,000 South Africans in the UK. Hendo, I said 500,000. I think my number is more accurate. You're not understanding anything I'm saying, Chris. This is frustrating. Take care. What's frustrating, Courtney? Why are you talking about Irania? Why are you talking about Irania? What does Irania have to do with Cape Town? You keep throwing non sequiturs out there. What am I not understanding? What's frustrating? What's frustrating is you're throwing non sequiturs out there and you're not making any sense. And why are you in your uniform on a Sunday? That's an odd thing. I mean, I don't ever wear my uniform on a Sunday in 36 years in the Army unless I was deployed or we had an event going on or a ceremony. I'm just curious. You told someone you're wearing your Navy uniform. Why? What's going on today? Are you drilling today? If you're drilling, I'm surprised to see you online because you're 2 hours behind me. That means it's 2:21 where you're at. So you must have some free time. Is Ronaldo Jos here? Oh, look at that. Ooh, look who slipped in. Look who slipped in. They'll let anybody come in here. Hey, Ronaldo, you want to call in? You want to chat? Since we didn't do Wednesdays with the Colonel, and I've just angered Courtney McBride. I don't know why. I sort of wonder if it's really Courtney. But let's see. The fire's not under control. I never said it was. Yep. Leanne saying hi only now as I was sharing with family and friends all over the world. I've been listening. Oh, awesome, Leanne. Thank you for doing that. Appreciate that. Just let you know, students have been evacuated. Yes, Resens, we know that. They were evacuated during the daytime. Are students from somewhere else being evacuated? We've covered that. Ronaldo's too tired. Okay. He's liquored up. He's been drinking. Ronaldo's liquored up. By the way, I have to tell you this, Ronaldo. Carter was on form today. Carter was on form. That was pretty impressive, man. And then it was pretty entertaining. We tried to get Kennedy to sing, and Carter just was kind of angry that he wasn't the star of the show, just singing off screen. That was pretty hilarious. Oh, thank you, Erica. Well, I didn't see that. Courtney, come on. You got to make allowances. I don't see all the chat. I'm busy doing other things here, managing the stream, engaging with the audience. So I do miss portions. So if I missed that, my apologies. My apologies. But you're throwing non sequiturs out. So Franco van Heerden is here. Welcome. How you doing, Franco? Good to see you. Hochhandet, eh? Hochhandet. Mother Nature, as well as all women, will prevail one way or the other, says Roy. Okay. Yeah, she was not impressed. You're right, Ronaldo. Resens Parker. Okay. We've got different stories reported here. We try to deal with facts. The information we have reported by the South African National Park Service is that they, earlier today, investigated, came to the conclusion that a vagrant's fire started the conflagration we had all day long in Cape Town today. However, this evening, there have been multiple instances of people, arsonists, starting fires around the city. At least one has been arrested by SAPS, and others were in pursuit. I don't know if they were arrested subsequently because we didn't get an update on that. So, yeah, there's a combination of things happening here, most likely. Bernard Fontini says, I like this dude. Well, thanks a lot. Become a subscriber. It's absolutely free. Special price. Okay, so I have my phone by my mom. Oh, okay. Cameron, so greetings to Marlene Heslop. Ma'am, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you with us tonight. And my apologies for not saying hello earlier, but we were pretty engaged showing the video earlier and orchestrating the show. Plus, I was trying to get our resident firefighter into the conversation. He just returned from Cape Town, had flown out this afternoon in Cape Town, arrived in Gauteng, and got home and then called me. In the midst of that, his wife, who lives in Cape Town, was in touch with him. So we're a bit hectic. And so my apologies, Marlene, for not saying hello to you earlier. So greetings to you in South Africa. They need to arrest the arsonists. Well, yeah, absolutely, Vernon. They do need to do that. I agree. I popped in yesterday to see someone responding to me when I hadn't written anything in chat. Was I cloned? Light Rain, yes. Very likely you were. But none of us saw that. So we're very puzzled. I went and scrolled back on the chat because it was late in the chat. Erica did the same. Another moderator did the same. We didn't see any discussion with Light Rain. But yes, be aware, folks, that trolls clone accounts. So yeah, that's why, unless it's a paying member, I don't always know that it's a legitimate person. So Courtney is saying he's upset. I don't know if that's actually Courtney. It could be. Maybe it's not. Anyway, Cape Town is a circus day. Indeed, Max. Max, indeed it is. And it's very sad. Totally apocalyptic. I think that's a good description for it, Maxie. That's a good description for it. Apocalyptic. Well, I love your avatar. It looks like you're wearing red, white, and blue. And Devault says, gift of the givers in private sector really came to the party to help UCT students, good people in Cape Town. Yeah, I'm a little puzzled, folks. I mean, those were ostensibly, those two videos I showed you were students being evacuated from UCT. Lars Salas, correct? The two that I showed, I mean, I didn't get them for you, but you recognize it. That was UCT, wasn't it, where those students were being evacuated? Is Lars Salas here? Please let me know. Anyway, Miss Tutakela says, I thought that Roman doesn't drink. What is Roman coming in the conversation? Is Roman here? I didn't see him. Lekker kak zondag aan. Yeah, lovely crap Sunday evening. Yep. Well, it's not a natural fire. No, then no one's claiming it's a natural fire, Raysons. You're correct, Raysons Parker. No one's claiming it's a natural fire. But it's a tinderbox. It's dry, so plus the wind. Subscribe, great content coverage. We'll share. Well, thank you very much, Bernard. Whereabouts you at, if you don't mind sharing? Are you in South Africa or are you somewhere else? UCT camp. Thank you, General Flables. Yeah. So here's my question. I thought that racism meant that there were no black or colored students at UCT. That's why fees must fall and it's unfair. And I only saw black and colored students being evacuated. What is the percentage of students there that are actually not black or are not colored at UCT? I'm just curious. Now, I'm being provocative. I'm just curious. Uber offered students free rides. That's awesome, Devald. That is awesome to hear. Campus apparently asked gift of givers to coordinate. Well, that's awesome. That Idi Amin in the 70s had an island, which he called Cape Town. That I didn't realize. Born and bred in Cape Town, says Bernard. Awesome. Mother City is a wonderful place. I really enjoy it. The Mediterranean climate's amazing. I don't usually care for Mediterranean climates. I lived in Italy. Really didn't do much for me. I prefer seasons. But I like it when I go to the Cape. It's beautiful. And it took me over 2 decades, but I finally got to the top of Table Mountain. Unfortunately, it was late in the afternoon, so I didn't get to spend nearly as much time up there as I wanted. But I had tried to go up there 6 or 7 times, and every time I went to the cable car, that damn cable car was down for repair. It's like they scheduled it for my trips to Cape Town. But I finally got up there about a decade ago. It was pretty awesome. Hendo was joking about Roman being on the influence. It was off topic. Okay, thank you, Ms. Tutakela. I apologize. I missed that. So, Runix, it's just EFF trying to always create divide. Yes, UCT is very diverse. That's what I thought. But that's why I was being sarcastic, Arunix. Nerf Kid SA, hello from the house of Vutsarko. Hope you're well. Well, Nerf Kid SA, well, thank you very much. Vutsarko is a longtime viewer of Chris Wyatt Africa. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Folks, I'm going to show the video again here in a couple minutes so that everybody can see the one I did with footage from late afternoon and this evening events in Cape Town. And no, the fire is not under control. And anyone that claims it's under control doesn't know much about fires. And if I lived in Cape Town, I would trust them. Not until the light of day and we see where the embers are and what's still happening. 22% classified as white, 15% international, 8% as other. Well, there you go. Thank you, Tufek Ajuhar. Wow. I probably pronounced your name. My apologies for getting it wrong. But Tufek Ajuhar. Of the 27,000, 25% were black, 45% is generic black. Oh, like as in, from Nigeria or the DRC or somewhere like that. Extremely foolish fools. Great for tourists because they come at the good times. Yeah, there you have it. So, hiking up Table Mountain. I've never hiked up at General Inflatables. If I was in my 20s still, I'd probably find that appealing, but not so much anymore. Are you aware of the work that the Gift of Givers do? Would really make a good interview. No, I'm not, Devald. Gift of Givers. I assume they're religious or a faith-based organization. Gift of the Givers. Of the Givers. Yeah, no, that sounds like an interesting... Yeah, VER. I'm writing it down. Gift of the Givers. So that I keep a note of it for later. But I'm not familiar with them. Lazan says, we know Little Red Jacket. Jack... Oh, that's right. Jack Markovitz studies at UCT. So you see there are some white folks there. Jack Markovitz here for the Economic Freedom Fighters. We think that it's wrong what white people have done to South Africa, and you must have all your wealth taken away and given to people. Excuse me, Jack. Isn't your father the heir to a billion-dollar hotel, tourism, hospitality industry business? Yeah, what's that got to do with anything? Well, why don't you give away your inheritance and have your father give away his company to people more deserving? Whoa, whoa. Check out my jacket. Isn't it lovely? Hey, Beth. Mighty Mouse stopped in. Super strong granddaughter. That's awesome. Glad to hear that. Glad she popped in. Sorry, Chris. Please give me a slight summary of what I missed if possible. Sure, Nerf. I'll do that as I build up to the video. We're going to play again here in just a minute for those who came in. Jack is a token white EFF misguided lot. It says, Jack Markovitz. Yep, that's the guy. Gifted givers were also feeding people in Eastern Cape and sorting out some of the hospitals in Eastern Cape. Jack is a jackass. Emitus Suleiman is the head of gift givers. Rock man. Well, thanks for sharing that. Okay, Emil, let me make a note of that as well. It's been a long day for me, folks. I've been working this Cape Town thing, but nothing like the firefighters in Cape Town. Don't. Just saying, it's been a long day. I was supposed to be an easy day, and then I changed it and decided to go cover the rugby as the weekend approached. And then when the events broke this morning, it was clear that I couldn't drive all the way to New York or New Jersey to watch that game and cover it as a journalist because this is more pressing. We've had a lot of people tune in to the channel today. Thanks a lot. A lot of new faces, a lot of new names in the stream. Thanks a lot. A lot of old faces have made a reappearance. Good to see you again. No, I'm not in the Gulag. I've been in the Gulag twice now, both times under fraudulent accusations, but it's like a Soviet show trial. You know, I didn't do it. Yes, you did. Well, what's the crime? Well, we can't tell you. When did I commit it? Well, we're not going to tell you. Well, then how can I defend myself? Well, you can't defend yourself because you're guilty. Welcome to the Soviet Union. Anyway, so Jack is a little Marxist tosser. I agree, Greg. This is a better coverage of the fire than the local media has been very, not just local media, Vernon. Did you see what SABC covered? Crickets. Yeah. News 24, useless coverage, nothing whatsoever. Yes. Unfortunately, some of the city's history is burned, and it's a loss to humanity, not just to Cape Town or to South Africa, but humanity. Let's see. They have years-long reputation. They're brilliant. You need to speak to them in interview. Okay, Andy, thank you very much for that. Jamie Hall was well designed by Sir Herbert Baker, who also designed the Union buildings. What's that? The Union buildings. Oh, Beth Frazier is giving $5 super chat. Whoa, super chats! I forgot about those. I hiked up Table Mountain, slid my butt halfway down. Says Erica, have you lived in Cape Town? Residence? No, I haven't. I've never lived in Cape. I've never lived in South Africa. I've lived in Botswana, and I've been to South Africa 450 times or more. But I've never lived in South Africa. So, no, I'm not. And Cape Town is one of the places I've visited the least in South Africa. I've only been there, I don't know, 8 or 9 times, probably in total over a few decades. So I know it, but it's not a place I've spent a lot of time in. Most of my time has been spent in Northwest or Gauteng or even KZN for that matter. A bit of time in the Free State, very little time in the Northern Cape, virtually nothing in Mpumalanga, a little bit in Mpumalanga. Graham Lee has become a member. Thanks for support, Graham. Appreciate becoming a member. That's awesome. Or was that a renewal? I don't recall. Anyway, yeah, so no, most of my time's in Gauteng, Northwest, KZN, and a bit in the Free State. So, yeah. Wind is picking up. That's not good, Larsalis. Not good at all. I actually live in Devil's Peak. I can give you a full update if you want. Arunix, would you like to call in? Would you like to do that? I can set up a Zoom session if you'd like to call in. We don't know you, but we'll take that risk. Jack's granddad was a city councilor back in the day. I think he was more than a city councilor. Wasn't he the mayor of Cape Town at one point? Lamiz Ahmed, every country my sibling wants to move to is experiencing natural disasters. Nowhere is better than Cape Town. The fire is an unnatural disaster. Yeah, no, Cape Town's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing, Lamiz. I agree. Aiden David says, best country when it comes to politics. That's so hard in today's crazy world. So hard in today's crazy world. Anyway, folks, let's go ahead. Let me get through the chat really quick, and then I'm going to show the 6-minute video because people seem to be dropping off. I'm an architect. I studied at UCT, so I spent time in the library. It's a law lost. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it would be nice if it rained, wouldn't it? Georgina in 9109 says it started from Vagrant's Fire, which is what the South African Park Service has said and what I've reported endlessly since they've said that on both my previous stream and my videos I've prepared us. Yeah. But thank you for answering HS's question because I didn't see it, Georgina. Appreciate that. But subsequently, a number of arsonists have been caught in the act of starting additional fires tonight in Cape Town. All right, folks, here we go. This is the video of events in Cape Town as the afternoon progressed into the evening. And you're going to hear also voice notes about these arsonists, some of the ones that were spotted in Cape Town. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Stick with me. If you've already seen this, take a break, go to the loo, get something to drink, top off, and just kick back and relax. It's about 6 minutes, and I'm still here. I'll be here, and we'll continue after this video. This is for the people who weren't here at the outset who get a chance to watch this. About 6 minutes and 15 seconds. Here it comes now.
Ben, this is new res. We're taking everyone out because there's a fire starting. There's fire already inside. To the other side, we open an exit door at the back for the students. We're trying to take them out, all of them out. This is so strange. Right now, we just taking them out, guys, out.
On the bus, me bro.
Guys, it is literally burning on Main Road.
Like
literally right in front of us.
That's what I'm saying. Like make fucking
Alma
quick.
Road.
Like a run, bro. Like a run.
Main Road is literally a fucking movie. There's students everywhere because they've been evacuated from reses. And yeah, people are just literally standing around on Main Road. Look at how many students are literally just walking the streets because UCT told them to evacuate. But where are they gonna go? That's the question.
Evacuate the area, please. Evacuate.
Hi guys, let me quickly explain what's going on. I'm here in Highland Close. So you might have heard the sirens and stuff. So we just saw three guys running on the mountain, many of us here in Highland Close, lighting fires. So it's arsonists trying to be funny or whatever the hell they're trying to do. And so that's the alarms and sounds, actually the cops and so on coming. We have called the fire brigade. They're on site. We can see them. They're trying also to stop the guys from doing more and obviously trying to catch them. So just to explain what's going on, if you're hearing a lot of noise, the fires are quite close, but the fire brigade is there. There were 3 fires that they lit, but it seems like they're getting there. Okay, bye. In fact, they've just caught one of the guys. But yes, I mean, the fire is burning quite intensely. Luckily, there's no wind.
Second fire was started. You could see somebody trying to ignite it. After that first one on the left was started, you can see there's people with torches now looking for the arsonist. It was probably about 10 minutes ago that this middle one was started, and that one started probably about 25 minutes ago, and you can see the services are now on the scene, and hopefully they catch the little bug. And of course that's the one that's still burning. And that's the one that came over the mountain from much earlier on. That's the heroes of the day. I'm sure exhausted. That's my commentary.
Sorry, and looking down there. Sorry about that, folks. Didn't mean to distract you there. I got a little carried away. This was, I had a delay here. So, yeah, pretty crazy stuff. I've written to Nicola Joel, the ward counselor for Ward 54 in Cape Town, to see if she's available for a conversation. She has a number of things she's put out there, but just first off here, many Cape UCT students have lost everything in the fire, apparently. So let's take a look at that very quickly here and share this. Make sure you get the right screen up. There we go. Yeah, many students have lost everything in the devastating fire today. If you can assist with providing any of the following items, please bring them to your tutor class tomorrow, and we'll arrange to get these to them. Basic toiletries, toothbrushes, toothpaste, face cloth, soap, deodorant, sanitary products, clothes, water, energy boosters. Well, energy boosters, that's kind of an odd thing to say that you need for students. But anyway, there you have it, folks. So, so I'm just checking something. Okay, cool. Will do. All right, I'm going to get her on here. She's a ward counselor from Cape Town. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off real quick, folks. So bear with me while I turn it off and open up a Zoom session. I'm going to leave that on for just a minute, and then we're going to get to it. So just a second here. I need to get a Zoom session set up. So this is the second caller we've had in now. We had Paulie call in earlier, which was pretty awesome, professional firefighter. So let's go see if I can get my video started here. Why is my video not starting? Why is my video not starting? Oh, that's why. Okay, here we go. Start video. All right, there we go. All right, so boom, copy link, and I will send that to her. Okay, so hopefully she'll be calling in a few minutes. Okay, so I've sent her the link. Cool, and we will get her on the channel here very quickly here. So anyway, folks, thanks for sticking with me, for your patience on that one. Let me go ahead and see if I can get this turned up now. So hang on. Got to get to the Zoom session here. These things are not, I need my buttons to work better than this. Okay, so all participants. All right. There we go. I'm back. So hopefully we'll have her up in just a minute. That's Nicola Joel from Cape Town. She'll be calling in. She's agreed to call in, so I've just sent her the link, and hopefully we'll have her up in just a couple minutes. So anyway, no, yeah, energy boosters equal drugs. No, I mean, it's when I went to university, there was no such thing as energy boosters. We didn't have Red Bull and stuff like that. So it's funny that they would ask for that, at least to me. Well, let's see what I've missed here. Anyway, so back to the conversation here. Look forward to hiking the charred remains, bright, shiny silver linings, desolate beauty of charred landscape. Yeah, I've been in many places where there've been massive forest fires. Yellowstone had some pretty horrific fires back in the 1980s when I was out there, and it's kind of eerie to walk through it kind of eerie to walk through it and see that. Robert King is here. Welcome, Robert. And that looks like you've got the tiger there from Calvin and Hobbes. That's what that looks like. The last 4 visuals I saw were all internal flames. If it were sparks or jumps fire, I would have started on a roof or something. Well, if you look at the Mostart mill, you'll see that the fire started with the thatched roof. That's where it started. At least that's how it appears. Emile Ferret, and in other news, General de la Rey's grave. Yes, I did cover that earlier, Emile. And here it is. Cous de la Rey's monument was destroyed. And this is particularly horrific because Cous de la Rey is a true South African hero. Cous de la Rey General Cous de la Rey fought against British subjugation and their efforts to subdue Africans, including Afrikaners. He fought alongside black South Africans, fighting with them in the Boer Wars, and he fought for them as well, against the Brits. And for someone to violate his grave and the stone in this fashion is reprehensible. This is just a matter of hours after people asked for this to receive protection because there were threats against it. You see, this is a man who has nothing to do with apartheid, who had nothing to do with that sort of oppression. And so this is simply cultural genocide. I talked about this extensively earlier. It is cultural genocide. That's what it is. And it is allowed to happen in South Africa, and it's quite shocking and disturbing. I'm just looking to see if she's up now. Anyway, I sent her the link. Hopefully she'll pop up here in a second. I'm just telling her we're ready when you are. Okay, so I just sent her a note. All right, so that was a super chat I missed. That was from Lea Janssen van Rensburg. Thank you. More coverage from you than from our own media. Well, that's true. That's absolutely true. More coverage, and I'd like to say better coverage, too, if I do say so myself. Raysons Parker said sad day. It is a sad day, but a bit of good news in this whole thing. According to her information, here she is, Nicola Joel. Let me go ahead and get my earphones in. Let me get her in here, and I will plug this in so we get better sound quality. And she's coming in now. Okay. So let her audio connect there. Just a moment. Give it a second, folks. Sounds like it's connected. Are you there? Oh, there she is. Hey.
Yes, I am.
How's it? I'm sorry, just by quick way of introduction, because I've already told people who you are. I'm Chris Wyatt, retired U.S. Army Colonel. I cover South Africa. I don't know if you've ever heard of me, but I covered extensively. I've been giving pretty much all-day coverage of the events taking place in the Mother City today. I did see on your Facebook, someone directing to your Facebook after I went live with my Night Owl stream, which is what we're on right now, that you had some update information. I saw that some good news, and a bit of good news in all this, is that a lot of the manuscripts and documents apparently were stored underground in the library, and they may not have been lost. And then also I got updates from people in neighborhoods about police chasing arsonists who are after the fact arsonists. So you are a ward councillor in the 54th ward of Cape Town, correct?
That's correct. I am a city councillor. So my area hasn't been directly affected by the fire, but obviously this is an issue, and all of Cape Town is standing behind the communities affected, and the firefighters are out there on the fire line doing phenomenal work.
They are, absolutely. And I've told people earlier, we have a viewer who's a firefighter in Johannesburg who's on the program a lot, but he deals with structural things. He's a city firefighter. And so, there's a big difference between wildfires and city firefighting. I've actually had a bit of experience. I'm an intelligence professional by trade, but in the Army, of course, you have lots of skills. And I've done some wildfire fighting myself. So between the two of us, we talked about it. And a lot of people were asking about the firefighters, and they were talking about the aviators. And I point out what incredible risk those aviators are at because of updrafts, smoke, obscuration, not to mention you're flying in front of a massive mountain. You could turn and it could be a short distance. I would have to agree from my perspective. I'm little questions about how the fire was addressed, but there's no time for that right now. Now they've got to subdue the fire, get it under control. But from what I have seen, the images of firefighters and the footage, it seems that they're doing heroic work there. It seems like you'd agree.
Oh, absolutely. I always agree. I think, as most of us people will run away from a fire, as we should do. They're running in towards it, into the danger, and so much can happen and change on that fire line in an instant. I'm aware that we have one firefighter who's been taken to hospital with burns. And I think particularly with these wildfires on the mountain where it's so unpredictable and the conditions change so quickly and the wind is going in one direction and without you realizing quickly it's changing and you have fires swirling around you. So they really are truly phenomenal. I think it's also worth mentioning that it's not only the City of Cape Town's fire department that's up there. South African National Parks have their fire teams working on fires up there. And then there's also an amazing group of volunteers who are exceptionally well-trained volunteers, work wildfire fighting service. And they're up there on the fire line as well. And these are people who are going to go to their day job in the morning, but they spent the day today and into the evening fighting that fire as volunteers. So there are really a huge amount of phenomenally brave and dedicated people who are galvanized and rush out to help in these situations. And we're extremely lucky to have people willing to do that.
Now, as a member of the city government, obviously you have better information than the general public, it seems, which is one reason why I want to talk to you. Some things that we've heard during the day and we've tried to confirm, we've got some confirmation, but if you're able to confirm this, please let us know. But we understand that an initial investigation by the South African National Park Service determined that a vagrant fire may have been the proximate cause of the blaze initially. Is that true, what we're hearing, or at least is that the statement that's come out?
That is a statement that's come out so far. I mean, they will launch a full investigation as the scene becomes more accessible, but they do say it was an unintended fire that started the initial blaze on Hospital Bend, close to Rhodes Memorial. That will be investigated, but it is likely so. That's an area that I've not seen many reports previously of these sort of cooking fires that happen on the mountain, but people do use that area to come and go regularly from the mountain. So sadly, that might be the case. And then that spread extremely fast across the mountains on that side. And as I say, these fires create their own wind, and it becomes quite powerful and pushed forward across the mountain. So that's the initial fire that started this morning, and that's been blazing for most of the day, and that went across through and has damaged a significant amount of infrastructure in the area.
No, and we've also seen some pretty horrific losses. I mean, potentially some damages into the collection there at the library at UCT. I saw the images of Mostert's mill, which is destroyed now. That's really sad to see. We have seen, as you mentioned, the fire leaps. A lot of people want to jump to conclusions and lay blame, but we don't know. You can't do that at this sort of stage. This could be simply, as it was, a vagrant's fire. The conditions, it's almost, unfortunately, a perfect situation for fire to grow rapidly with those hills, with the way that wind channels through there, the temperature, everything's dry. It's been very dry of late. That's another issue. And then we saw, as you saw the day go on, you saw the fire climb because the tinder was lifted up and carried up higher onto Table Mountain, and you saw higher elevations burning, which, of course, there aren't fire hydrants and trucks up there at that elevation. So that's got to be particularly concerning.
Absolutely. And I think, the key thing is we don't know for 100% certainty what's happened here, but we need to try and find out and address that it has happened on National Park's land. And that's the difficult thing of being in a big city, a big metro, which has a national park all along its border. We're grateful to have it. It's beautiful, wonderful, but it does create these scenarios where there is a large natural vegetation area that can burn. As we're middle of April, we've had a very dry April, a very hot April as well, and which has also contributed to that. The Mostert Mill is just also, it's devastating to see a building like that, an old mill, historic monument that has gone up in flames, that had a thatched roof, and the sparks from these fires just travel so far that sparks hit that thatched roof, and before you can do anything, it really went up in flames so quickly. We've also seen those sparks travel down to the main road, a good, I'd say, 400 meters away, and burn trees down on the main road. So it really is destructive how far those sparks can fly and the amount of damage they can do. The also Rhodes Memorial restaurant attached to the monument up on the mountain there, that burnt, and unfortunately it's likely that the gas cylinders at the restaurant there overheated and there was an explosion at the restaurant. Thankfully, amazingly, nobody was hurt in that, but that's devastating loss as well. And then to see what's happened at University of Cape Town, UCT, is absolutely tragic. My alma mater, I think of my time sitting on the Jamison steps in the library there, and it's just really very, very emotional. The city's mayor, Dan Plato, did visit the university earlier on today. The good news, a small little iota of good news, is that some of the rare collection and really irreplaceable work that the library contains is held in underground rooms which have fireproof doors, roller doors, which were activated, and they do believe that a large amount of that is still intact. But the full extent of the damage will only be known in the next few days as things become easier to access and investigations are done. But it is very tragic. You also did mention in your introduction, a chasing of arsonists. So we have seen as well this evening, about 2 hours ago, 3 people setting 3 different fires on a different section of the mountain about 2 kilometers away from where this fire started. Really tragic to think that people are willing to go and do that. Our fire services are stretched to the limit, and then to be diverted to these fires started intentionally is quite heartbreaking. Congratulations to the Metro Police from the City of Cape Town, who have arrested one of the arsonists, and that fire has been contained by the city's fire department. But to create that diversion, to create that additional pull on the resources and further destruction of our natural vegetation is extremely heartbreaking. So it's really, one has to question how people can even think to do that. It's just beyond reality.
No, absolutely. I'm with you. But one would just conclude or make the assumption initially that it's either pyromaniacs who are attracted to that sort of thing, or it's political. And in either case, it's horrific, whichever it is. And it's a shame that people would do that, because people can die from this. It's really unfortunate, not to mention the loss of patrimony and cultural heritage. But a few things very quickly about this. One thing I haven't heard about, and I don't know if anything about this, of course, lots of people are out hiking on Table Mountain and around there. There is, unfortunately, the possibility that someone may have perished in the fire that we don't know about, hasn't been accounted for. But as of right now, there are no fatalities. We just have at least 2 firefighters. I know for one was injured and was taken to hospital, but the other was treated on scene. He appeared to be okay for burns. You're right. One doesn't know what will happen once people realize that somebody is missing, that didn't come home at the end of the day. The Table Mountain National Parks did put out an evacuation call very early on when they realized that this fire was spreading very fast. So hopefully that call was heeded by the people on the mountain. They had rangers out immediately up on the path looking for people and hikers to get them out of the area. And we haven't heard of any reports yet of anybody not returning home. But hopefully that is the case, that everybody did come off the mountain safely and intact. Obviously, the wildlife the wildlife services have been up in the area. They are on standby currently. It's been too hot for them to really get into the area to see if they can rescue any injured or damaged animals. But they are on scene there, waiting to access the area and dealing with any animals who may be fleeing from the scene and may be injured. Those are good points as well. Now, an additional thing is we need to let people know that, because some people had a false sense of security earlier. The fire is not under control at this hour, is it? It's definitely not under control. There's been over 200 firefighters fighting this fire on the line. We've had over 4 helicopters throughout the afternoon and day, water bombing the fire and the buildings that caught alight. But it's definitely not under control. There are still crews up on the mountains throughout the night, and there will be into tomorrow. From where I've been sitting, you can see the fire cresting over the top of Devil's Peak. And with the wind starting to pick up again now on this side, it's likely that will fan the flames and push it down the side of the mountain towards the Cape Town CBD. We can hope that the winds will stay calm through the night, and that firefighters will be able to get a handle on it. But until the choppers are able to be redeployed in the morning at first light, it is a very dicey situation through the night. Right, so people, I've told people, as an Army guy, a retired Army officer, I always have what I call a go bag. I mean, I have one right now. I mean, I'm not in any jeopardy here, but having lived in 8 countries in Africa and been prepared to evacuate at a moment's notice plus combat, you always have a go bag. And what I recommend to Cape Townians today is make sure you have a go bag. Get a little rucksack, put some underwear, put some change of clothing in there, put a toothpaste, toothbrush, underarm deodorant, whatever you need. Make sure you have your passports, your credit cards, any valuable documents you need, because you may think you're perfectly safe, but by morning you may hear a knock on the door if you're lucky and it's time to get out and there's a fire 100 meters away. Is that good advice? It's excellent advice. I think that's the key thing. The more one can be prepared mentally and physically have those things ready, where those documents are, put them in a bag. My daughter was certainly worried as she went to bed tonight about her cuddle toy. If she had to leave, would she be able to take it with her? But I think that's the key thing. The more we are prepared for these things, the better we can be. Make sure that you are putting in all preventative measures around your house as well, keeping all the windows closed, any dead leaves piled up, those sort of things, make sure they're cleared out. There are a number of amazing organizations that do fire safety and awareness around the house that really one should use at a time when you're not under panic, and get the advice and the steps to put in place, because those things are vital. And we'll see what the night holds. I certainly have spent many nights on the fire line with fire departments previously evacuating people, and it is quite frightening. I've been with people who've tried to evacuate their dining room furniture along with them. And I think the key thing is, just making sure you have your valuables to hand, the important documents, the important mementos that you can carry, that is not going to be cumbersome and hold you down. And also, one doesn't know when you're evacuating always where you are going to be going to. There are halls that are opened in facilities, and there's been a huge outpouring of support in this case for the UCT, the university students who have had to be evacuated from their residence to house them overnight, to care for them, and donations of food. So the city is really galvanizing around those in need tonight to make sure that they're cared for and looked after through the night. Well, I think that's something we should talk about in just a moment. I want to talk about people who've outpoured. But before I do that, it's always handy if you give your daughter a cuddle toy that has a fragrance. This is a chocolate bunny from Easter. So anyway, so I'm glad she's got her cuddle toy. That's important. People neglect that. That can be very stressful for a child. So I've been getting multiple reports that Gift of the Givers has done some remarkable work helping out. Do you know anything about that? Have you heard about that?
I have. I've seen the reports. They're a phenomenal organization that whenever there is any type of crisis, you will undoubtedly hear Gift of the Givers mobilizing their resources and their network. And they've been assisting with food for 4,000 students, along with many businesses who've joined with them to provide those services. So, but, it's along with the Gift of the Givers who do great work, and the restaurants in the areas, and individuals and moms and dads and grandparents who all feel that we feel helpless at home, wanting to help. And many people want to go to the scene and see if they can help, which is always the worst thing to do. Stay far away from it. Let emergency vehicles have the space to do their work. But the fire stations and around the area have been, the drop-off point for donations throughout the day. And it's fantastic that everybody gets behind it, whether it's ordering a online delivery of pizzas for the firemen to water and ice and eye drops. It's all appreciated. And it just, Cape Town really pulls together when there's a fire like this. And unfortunately, we get them too regularly, but people want to help, and they do. And it's phenomenal to see it. And I think our firefighters, when they come off that fire line exhausted, they really do appreciate knowing that the city of Cape Town and its residents have been looking after them, thinking about them and caring for them during this time. But yeah, Gift of the Givers have done amazing work, and they always will do it whatever the crisis at hand. They are there to be called on, and they do deliver amazingly.
Well, thank you so far. A couple other quick questions very quickly. But before I do that, a lot of people have surged into the stream since you and I started talking, and they don't know who the heck I'm talking to. So if you could briefly introduce yourself just so people know, because I'm probably going to mispronounce your surname. So
my name is Nicola Joel. I'm a ward councillor for the city of Cape Town. My ward 54 is Atlantic Seaboard, so not directly in the fire line, but we have had our share of bad fires. And just sharing the experiences of what's been happening in the city today.
Well, thank you. So a couple things here. Now, if this is outside your wheelhouse or your expertise, because you're a ward counselor, it's maybe not something you're involved in. I mean, I don't know how your local government breaks down responsibilities. I know how that's done at a provincial and national level. But if you're familiar with it, that's great. If you're not, that's okay. But here in the U.S., we have a lot of surge capacity when there's massive wildfires in the West or the mountain states or something horrific like, hurricanes and things in the Gulf states. We surge first responders from around the country. There's a network to do this. Does South Africa or the Western Cape, either of them have a capacity to bring people in from Stellenbosch or Hermanus or elsewhere around the country to help out, or are the folks that are there now kind of stuck on their own? Do you know?
No, depends which sort of level of organization you're talking about. So in terms of the municipal firefighting services, absolutely, they will bring in resources from other municipalities across the province who will come and help and fight the fire. And volunteers as well, our wildfire fighters, volunteer organizations, they also have a network of bases across the Western Cape, and those people will come in quickly and assist. So there definitely is a sharing of resources and assistance at these times. Likewise, when we've had other fires outside of the city of Cape Town, those resources have been redeployed to areas outside of our jurisdiction to help. So there really is a great cross-sharing of resources.
Well, that's good to hear. And it sounds like contingencies are planned for. As you mentioned, unfortunately, the area has a Mediterranean climate, and fires are a common occurrence. And then we should mention to people, the Finboss actually kind of needs fire now and then. So that's another whole issue to talk about.
Yes.
But
yeah.
So here, there's a couple of things here. First off, you mentioned restaurants are rushing to help out. This is phenomenal. I mean, restaurants have been under incredible pressure as the tourism industry has been virtually destroyed by the National Coronavirus Command Council's dictates over the past 15 months or so. And many restaurants have gone under, including South Africa's oldest pub, which is in Cape Town, has gone out of business. So this must be yet more pressure from restaurants, but they've stepped forward to help in the breach, to help people in need.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, it really is so touching that they have gone through the most horrendous crisis themselves. It's phenomenal to see them coming out and supporting in a time when they're also under immense pressure. So you're absolutely right. To see restaurants open their doors, to come along to the fire station with 20 pizzas made and donated, it's wonderful to see. We have seen a huge amount of restaurants closing. They have been really hard hit with the lockdown regulations, the curfews, the ban on alcohol sales. It's really impacted our whole hospitality industry terribly. But people are rebuilding from that. and we're seeing tourists coming back, which is fantastic. So hopefully it will continue to build and get better. The good news in terms of South Africa's oldest restaurant, you're referring to Percy's Tavern there.
Yes.
They've reopened under new ownership, but they have reopened and seem to be doing great things. And there's a lot of energy for people wanting to come out and support. I think that's the key thing, that the South African residents realize, Cape Townians realize that we need to come out and support our local businesses and keep them going.
No, that's awesome. I didn't know that Percy's had reopened. That's good news, I hope. But one of my concerns, maybe if we talk in a conversation later, we talk about my concerns is about consolidation in the industry, but that's a whole separate thing. But great to hear the restaurants are trying to play their role. And a final thing, because your phone is obviously blowing up. I keep hearing it chirping there. You've got constituents, you've got work to do. So you've been very generous with your time, and you came on no notice. So I'm very grateful for that. But I did want to ask this because I did see this on your Facebook page. I've got the impression that dormitories or residences were destroyed or damaged for UCC students, and many of them have nothing right now. And so people are trying to get together and raise things like basic toiletries and toothbrushes and deodorant and necessities of life. Is that accurate?
So the dormitories themselves, as I understand, haven't been damaged by the fire, but obviously there is a lot of smoke damage in the area, and we're not sure when the UCT students will be allowed to go back to their residence. So it's fantastic to see places like Camps Bay High School do this drive for donations of basic toiletries, because many of those students will have left their dorm rooms without properly packing a bag, not sure how long they will be going for. They may have thought I'll be going for a couple of hours, and it may be a couple of days that they will have to have alternative accommodation. So really anything that people can do to assist will be welcomed, and they don't know what they're going to come back to. There will be a lot of smoke damage in the area, but as far as I'm aware, the actual residence buildings themselves haven't been touched by the fire.
Okay, well, I think that's very helpful to hear, because I saw footage of some residential areas in flames, and I didn't know if that was student housing or private houses. It seems to be private housing.
There have been some private houses damaged. I'm not sure yet aware of how many have been damaged, but there have been a number that have been damaged by the fire.
Excellent. So, not excellent that they're damaged. Excellent for sharing that. Thank you. And here's a real serious question. I don't know if you have the answer on this, but you mentioned volunteers have been helping out. Will the nationwide curfew, is it eased for tonight in Cape Town so that people can help out, or is that still in effect because the curfew is almost here? People have to be home at 11.
People do have to be home at midnight. Maybe midnight, I think it is.
I'm sorry. They stopped serving alcohol at 11 o'clock. Sorry.
Yes, that is correct. So there's no easing of the national regulations tonight, but most of these volunteers who work for the organizations already have permits to allow them to travel outside of those hours, so they would be covered. And I have to say, I think all the emergency services and law enforcement are so focused on the fire and the line and traffic control and those sort of things that is where their focus is. And I'm sure anybody in a soot-covered outfit will be given the rite of passage, clearly.
Yeah, it might be see no evil. That's not encouraging people to be out misbehaving tonight in Cape Town. But if you're helping, that's probably the reality there. Well, listen, I have to thank you very much. I'd love to keep you longer. You're a pleasure to talk to. You're very informative. Thank you so much. And you're the first official from Cape Town I've ever spoken to. So
lovely.
Yeah, I know. I seem to only attract officials from Gauteng when I talk to them. So.
Now you've got a contact in Cape Town. You're welcome to call anytime.
Well, absolutely. Well, maybe we'll get you on for an interview sometime soon. Talk about Cape Town and its future and things like that. But thank you so much for that. And before you go, you don't have to answer this. One of my viewers, I think, sarcastically said something. It's amazing how the Rona disappears in a crisis. Anyway.
Quite correct.
Anyway, well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. God bless, and good luck to Cape Town. And I hope that things get better. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Ward Councilor for 54th Ward of Cape Town, Nicola Jowl. I knew I was going to mess up her name, but thank you so much. I appreciate her coming in and helping us out. That was amazing. Let me take these headphones off. I don't need them anymore. So there you go. I have to leave them on so that I can get the right mic feed there. Otherwise, you hear her over the speakers and it doesn't work so well. Anyway, wow, folks. There you have some updated news, better information about what's actually happening from a government official in the mother city of Cape Town. Wow, amazing day, and it's still going. The danger is not over, folks. If you think the danger is over, you're not paying attention. Please listen to me now. The danger in Cape Town is real. I don't care how far you are from this conflagration. It's not that hard for these embers to jump and leap and go from place to place. And winds can come out of nowhere. So please Pack yourself a go bag. Pack one for your kids if you got kids. Pack one for your significant other, whether you like them or dislike them. Pack a bag anyway, because you probably miss them if they didn't make it. And be prepared to evacuate if you have to in Cape Town. Also, be sure to follow civil authorities' direction as to what to do and where to go should something happen. Don't need people being independent and causing trouble when an evacuation takes place. It's chaotic enough. And I doubt that there's many places set up for evacuees. Maybe the Victoria Alpha Waterfront, maybe the Greenpoint Stadium, who knows. Anyway, folks, there you have it. It's midnight, is it? No, it's 11 o'clock. Where's midnight at? Who's got midnight? It's not midnight, not in South Africa. It's 11 o'clock in South Africa. Mustutakea says, I must go. Thank you for keeping us up to date. Prayers for everyone in Cape Town, right? Jeremy Gilmore says, COVID's still here, just wanted to, yeah, exactly. You're welcome, Ressens. Thank you very much. If you're not a subscriber, folks, please become a subscriber. We've had a few subscribers today to stop the bleeding that's taking place here on the tube. And I really appreciate people coming to the stream. Paulie says she's 100% correct. Western Cape got capacity and can bring other crews in from around the province on a whim. Excellent. Well, great. And that's why I asked the question, Paulie. I mean, that's what a journalist does, ask the relevant questions to make sure that people know. That should put people's minds at ease that they can get the support from Stellenbosch, Hermanus, or wherever they need a Parle to bring people in there. So confusing to say it's 11 p.m. 2300 is so much easier. No. I'm with you. Military time is what I prefer to do with. Where is Patricia DeLille? Good question. I don't know. Rolo Tomasi. Welcome, Rolo. Many years ago, Neil worked on the design of the new science lecture theater under the old Bowlers Herbarium and Psychology building on the University Avenue. Existing historical buildings underpinned. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. All right, so there you go, folks. There you go. We have an award counselor from Cape Town that came in. We had Paulie join us earlier as a professional firefighter, and we give you lots of video coverage of events taking place in Cape Town today. Now, I'll offer my apologies now, because tomorrow I won't have the flexibility to do this. I'm already committed. I will be attending the event with the Army War College tomorrow, and I'll be tied up from 5:30 in the morning until 5 p.m. So your day will be well underway, and I won't be able to stream. I will try to stream during lunchtime, but unless I get some information sent to me, I'm not going to have updates. I won't have the capacity to show you videos and take calls because that'll be on my mobile in my car when I call in. So I will try to do a morning stream if possible, but it'll be a very short one. And then I'll before I go, I'll look and see what updates are, and I'll give you updates on it. And then I'll do a lunchtime stream, and there'll be a late stream tomorrow if possible, if I'm not knackered. Anyway, so there you have it, folks. Curfew is unconstitutional. It is, Rolo. It is, but people get away with it. The governor of Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, where I live, virtually every one of his actions for the lockdown last year was declared unconstitutional in August of 2020 after having been in place for several months since March by a federal judge in the Western District of Pennsylvania. Do you know how many of those things he's changed and how many laws he's following? None. He's still imposing unlawful, unconstitutional lockdown, and we're the country with the oldest existing constitution on the planet. If we can't defend our constitution from capricious politicians who simply violate it at their whim, how can you expect South Africans to be able to protect themselves in their extremely long and complicated constitution? Anyway, so there you go. But thank you for sharing that, Rollo. You are correct. I wonder which politician will pretend to be the hero in this situation. I don't know, Ressens, but clearly that Nicola wasn't trying to do that. She simply answered my questions, didn't take credit for anything, gave credit to others. That's what a politician should do. That was a humble conversation in my view, and I appreciate her coming on at such short notice. Pretty awesome. I will download that, and I will save that interview as a separate one so that people will be able to get that from. There you go. Light Rain says the instant command structure for disasters in America is a wonderful tool, very flexible, dynamic way to organize from a handful of people to thousands for every conceivable crisis. Exactly right, right? Light Rain, you are spot on. It's amazing how we have people that show up in fires in Colorado from Massachusetts, from Ohio, from Indiana. It's unbelievable how that works. I mean, it costs money. It's resources, but there are mechanisms in place to make it happen. Vernon says, Chris is always so respectful of his guests. Great interview. Well, thank you, Vernon. I appreciate that. I think it was a good interview. Rashad Koff says, when one part of the body hurts, the whole body feels the pain. Our people in Cape Town, let's come together. Exactly, Rashad. But the whole body of South Africa is going to feel this pain if there's serious losses here. Thankfully, no fatalities thus far. But as I said, you can't hold your hat on that. There may, in fact, be fatalities later because people are hiking all over the mountain. We just don't know. U.S. Bormeister is just giving a super chat. Thank you so much. A $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Polly says she was great. Very articulate. Well done for getting her on. Yeah, no, well, who told me to get her on? My apologies. I forget who told me. Was it General Inflatables, I think, may have said that, who's in Cape Town. Thank you for the recommendation. I don't know the politicians in Cape Town. The only person in Cape Town I know it's a politician is Dan Plato and Helen Zilla. That's it. I don't know the rest of them. So, and I don't know them personally. So I appreciate letting me know about that. I got a word counselor on. Wow, she was very articulate. I hope Ronaldo is that articulate when he does his program. Are you still here, Ronaldo, or did you pass out on me? Anyway, let's see. Everybody keeps saying it's midnight. Did you guys change time again? I got 11 o'clock for South Africa. Why does everybody keep saying midnight? All right. Thank you, Chris, for giving all South Africans near and far a place to get together, get accurate information. Well, you're welcome, U.S. Burmese. That's my goal here, is to share not just with South Africans, but with the world. So cool beans. Thank you so much for the super chats. Really appreciate it. Teresa saluting me. Back at you, Teresa. Thanks a lot. General Flables, it was you. I thought so. Are you in your PJs? You don't have to answer that question. Anyway, that's always her excuse. So let's see what else. Justin. Hey, Justin, are you okay, by the way? Your mom is like freaking out and worried about your safety there in the Cape Town. Justin, are you okay? Oh, you says 2.2. Is it 2 to 5 kilometers from where you're at? Okay. It's an estimate. It was general. Thank you so much for that. 11 p.m. definitely. Yeah, I think somebody's drinking with Ronaldo. They're probably a little bit off there. Yeah, 23:15. Thank you, Kevin. That's what I was saying. I have on my screen clocks for Accra, Monrovia, London, Abuja, Munich, Namibia, Pretoria, Wellington, Sydney, Tokyo, and Perth. So I can check at a glance the time, and it gets updated when people change time. So I'm like, it's 11 o'clock. What's going on there? Anyway, not so long ago, Chris, the City Hall of Bloemfontein was set alight by arsonists. When all our heritage is lost, we have left not much. Well, what you have to do is replicate all the stuff in the modern digital age. You might not be able to protect priceless heirlooms and artifacts, but you can certainly replicate them so you have a record of them so people can't deny it. So, for instance, wherever the treaty between Dingane and Piet Retief lies, that thing should have already been copied or duplicates made of it so that if it's gone, you have a backup of it and keep it in multiple locations. Yeah, Justin's laughing because his mom's worried about it. Well, that's good that she's worried about you. Members of Parliament can't even run fast enough. That's true. It's like general officers in the SANDF, a little bit overweight there. They're not going to get very far. Hope the fire ends by tomorrow. Yusuf, I agree with you. Boy, what's with all these folks coming in? I think a whole bunch of if I'm wrong, assuming that, Yusuf, my apologies, but I assume we're talking about Muslims and Cape Coloreds coming in from Cape Town. Awesome to see you here. You're most welcome here. You know, at Chris Wyatt Africa, we are very fond of South Africa, but especially fond of Afrikaans-speaking South Africans, of Basotho, Tswana, and of colors, whether it's the Griquas, Cape Malays, or Cape Coloreds. Love you all. Love the Rehoboth Bastards up there in Namibia, and awesome to have people join us. So if I assumed someone was a group and they're not, my apologies. But I'm just going off of a few indicators that I have. Yeah, let's pray for rain, folks. Let's hope for rain. Totsines, Mensa, says Resins Parker. Well, you're most welcome. Anyway, so our community is diverse and magnificent. It is, Justin. Well, that sounds like Cape Town, but that's the story of Cape Town, is it not? That is absolutely the story of Cape Town. Anyway, lucky the fire hydrants work in Cape Town, unlike what happened in Joburg General Hospital. Oof, that hurts, Vernon. Yep, Lekka Slappies, everyone. Monday is upon us. Yep, General Flables, have a good night. Not just colored black and white. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean, but yeah, I did say black. The Tswana and the Basotho people also are black African, so maybe something was lost in translation there. Where do we get those oversized battle pants? Okay, Yusuf is saying it's UCT is close, but not that close. All right, cool. Helen Duplessis back. Good to see you. Not just a little overweight, but I guess they can roll down hills. She's talking about the generals and the SANDF. Ouch. Ouch. And Indians, of course. Muy loop. Says icicle fledglings. Saw the fire evolving all day from the observatory, says Wouter de Vos. Wow. So you were able to watch. I mean, it's a Sunday, so, I mean, probably had the free time to do that. That's crazy. Hendo says, for the record, mods are coloreds as well. Exotic. Yes, Hendo, of course, being colored, we'll point that out. The fire in Lion's Head in 2019, I don't think it got a lot of attention, Yusuf. Yep. Deborah says, let's play for the English Safas as well. Yeah, absolutely. All South Africans, folks. Zulu, Kosavenda, Pedi, Siswati, San, Khoi, whoever they are. Let's pray for them all. And let's not forget the Khoi-san, who's sitting in front of the Cape Union the Union buildings in Pretoria, seeking an audience with President Cyril Ramaphosa to get the ANC to recognize them as the original inhabitants of South Africa. Never going to happen, but let's show them our allegiance and our support for their cause, the Khoi and San, who seek to be recognized as the original inhabitants. But they're wholly ignored by the ruling African National Congress, because to recognize them as the original inhabitants of South Africa would be an admission that the Bantu peoples are colonizers and settlers, and that's not going to happen, unfortunately. It may be true, but the ANC is never going to admit that. So there you have it. Aiden Davids, I'm an Afrikaans speaking colored. Well, thank you, Aiden. Awesome. Appreciate it. There you go. There you go. Pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is on the way out, I'm going to show the video and then hang around for a Giselle song. I'm going to play Für uns Mensa for those who want to hear it at the end. I'm going to play Für uns Mensa because we already played South Africa at the beginning, and that's kind of an anthem that Giselle wrote for South Africa, even though she's a Namibian. If you hear her talk, you know she's got that Namibian accent in Afrikaans. It stands out. But Giselle, we had... South Africa at the beginning, and we're going to play Für uns Mensa on the way out, which is the normal starting song, but I'm going to play it at the end of the stream. So thanks a lot for tuning in, folks. I appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber to Chris Wyatt Africa, I saw a lot of new names tonight. Please subscribe to my channel. You're welcome to come look at my content and listen for yourself. There are people in South Africa that are just basically flying monkeys that run around and attack people and make false accusations about people. If you've heard any of those things, you've heard nonsense. Check out my channel. This channel doesn't tolerate bigots. It doesn't tolerate racists. It doesn't tolerate lies. We deal in facts. Yes, there's opinion, but it's informed, cogent analysis opinion. I have 36 and a half years in uniform, retired as a full colonel, was an intelligence officer in tactical intelligence, strategic intelligence, counterintelligence, signals intelligence. I was a serving counterintelligence agent. I was a foreign area officer for sub-Saharan Africa with tours of duty in Tunisia, Liberia, Botswana, Malawi, Niger, Mauritania, Uganda, and Ethiopia at the U.S. mission to the African Union. I'm a published author in academic circles. Just had my most recent book published. It's not here right now. I published in February this year from Stellenbosch University on U.S. Africa Command. And I am also a published author in popular press as well, whether it's defense stories about Botswana's defense acquisition program or South Africa's maritime capability, or it's about rugby. I'm a rugby journalist. I cover that as well. So feel free to become a subscriber. It costs nothing, and you're welcome to be part of the Chris Wyatt Africa family. We appreciate you coming here. Thanks to everyone. So I'm going to play that video again of the footage from today, which includes the voice notes from Paulie's spouse talking about the arsonist in Cape Town. So we're going to play that, and then I'm going to play Für uns Mensa on the way out the door. Thank you all so much. I'm going to need to take a break. I've got a bit of a headache and dehydrated because I've been pretty much recording videos, researching, or broadcasting all day long. So I'm going to take a break. Thank you all so much. That Andre Van Eden's back. Appreciate it. So we're going to play that stuff right now. So I got 154 people here, 156 likes. We had 200 some people here a minute ago. Can we get some more likes? Come on. Can I get some freaking sharks with lasers on their head? Come on. Come on, $1 billion. Just kidding. Anyway, folks, here we go. Why is it okay to talk about Pan-African nationalism but not about Khoi San Boer nationalism? Good question, Jeff, or Neil Jeffrey, excuse me. Good question. Because it should be all right, but we know how the world really works, unfortunately. So here we go. This is the Cape Town evening video, and then Giselle will be back with Für uns Mensa, and then we're done. Oh, Bosch Sebers just gave a nice super chat, 140 Rand. Thanks for the factual informed updates, Colonel. Keep it up. I will try. As long as we're not censored on the tube, we'll keep delivering this sort of content. Thank you so much for that, Bosch Zebra. Really appreciate it. And here is the video I compiled earlier, a compilation of different videos and still images from across the mother city of Cape Town today, the conflagration. Our thoughts and prayers out to the residents of Cape Town. Hopefully there are no fatalities. As of now, there are none. Hopefully that stays the case. Let's hope that the winds stay under control and that firefighters are able to put this thing out. God bless South Africans, wherever you find yourself, whether you're in South Africa or abroad. And to all the people in Cape Town tonight, our best wishes.
Then, this is new res. We're taking everyone out because there's a fire starting. There's fire already inside. To the other side, we open an exit door at the back for the students. We're trying to take them out, all of them out. This is so strange. Right now, we just taking them out, guys, out.
the bus, me bro.
Guys, it is literally burning on main road.
Like
Literally right in front of us.
That's what I'm saying. Like make fucking
Alma Road.
Like a run, bro. Like a run.
Main road is literally a fucking movie. There's students everywhere because they've been evacuated from reses. And yeah, people are just literally standing around on main road. Okay, how many students are literally just walking the streets because UCT told them to evacuate. But where are they gonna go? That's the question.
Evacuate the area, please. Evacuate.
Hi guys, let me quickly explain what's going on. I'm here in Highland Close. So you might have heard the sirens and stuff. So we just saw 3 guys running on the mountain, many of us here in Highland Close, lighting fires. So it's arsonists trying to be funny or whatever the hell they're trying to do. And so that's the alarms and sounds, actually the cops and so on coming. We have called the fire brigade. They're on site. We can see them. They're trying also to stop the guys from doing more and obviously trying to catch them. So just to explain what's going on, if you're hearing a lot of noise, the fires are quite close, but the fire brigade is there. There were 3 fires that they lit, but it seems like they're getting there. Okay, bye. In fact, they've just caught one of the guys. But yes, I mean, the fire is burning quite intensely. Luckily, there's no wind.
Second fire was started. You could see somebody trying to ignite it. After that first one on the left was started, you can see there's people with torches now looking for the arsonist. It was probably about 10 minutes ago that this middle one was started, and that one started probably about 25 minutes ago, and you can see the services are now on the scene, and hopefully they catch the little thuggerbug. And of course that's the one that's still burning. And that's the one that came over the mountain from much early on. That's the heroes of the day. I'm sure exhausted. That's my commentary.